Hi guys, welcome to the Magical Hags YouTube channel. So, for today we will be making salt bowls. This is something that I like to do every 3 months, every 4 months for the home. Basically, every seasonal change, I like to change up my salt bowls just to bring in different energy, different cleansing properties, different just energies, vibrations in general. As we're going into the darker months for myself, autumn into winter, I like to use more cleansing, protective elements. So here we have some salt, hence the name salt bowls. You can use Himalayan salt, which I know a lot of people like to use for its stronger love properties, love vibes. You can use coarse salt, you can use deep sea salt, basically any salt that you have in the home you can use. Salt is something that has been around for thousands of years. It's known to energetically clean and refresh. It's why we all like to go to the beach. It can absorb water, emit ions, and it kills bacteria. That's why some people like to buy, fancy salt lamps, but you can actually have the same benefits with a bowl of salt, and you can actually put more into it. For example, essential oils, crystals, herbs. For today I'm just going to be using herbs for mine, but you can basically make it as unique and individual as you are. Any essential oils you particularly like, you're particularly drawn to, any crystal you can use to amplify the energy. So I'm using sea salt for mine. I like the texture, I like the vibe it gives off, and I like the healing cleansing properties. I would recommend that you swap these every couple of months, just because the whole point of them is to cleanse, protect, and keep the energy in the rooms or in your home nice and clear. And you want to make sure that you refresh that and cleanse that, because you don't want to make it stagnant. So what you want to do first is you want to choose the bowl that you're going to be keeping your salt in. I'm using this little green one because it's one of my favourites. I like it. You can use a simple glass bowl, clay pot, anything that you like. Most people ask where I put this. I have one in my front room. I have a few salt lamps in my front room, I must admit. I keep this in my working room where I do my crafts, where I do my readings, where I do my spell works with clients. Just because obviously I'm dealing with a lot of people generally on a day-to-day, weekly basis. It's nice to keep the energy clear and cleansed and the vibe high. I recommend this for anyone that does massages, anyone that's a spiritual healer, counsellors, just anyone who deals with people generally. If you go into a house or a store and there's a lot of stagnant energy, possibly they need a salt bowl. So, like I said, with the salt that I'm using coarse sea salt. You can use any that you're drawn to. If you really want to know more about the salt that you're using, maybe just Google or have a look and see if you like the properties that it represents. So for the herbs that I will be using today, I will be using juniper for its protection cleansing properties. I will be using orange peel, again, because it's quite a high vibe, energetic, but it's also got a protective element as well, lots of protective elements. I'm using cedar, I'm using aniseed or star aniseed, and I'm also using sage. Every single one of the crystals that, of the herbs that I'll be putting in to this particular bowl all have protective properties. Most of them have cleansing properties as well. I like to use the star aniseed just because, for a start, it looks kind of like a pentagram. So it's already imbuing it with protective energies. If you're not Wiccan, witch, pagan, and you just want to make your own salt bowl, you obviously can use your own spiritual leaves to infuse it with your own feelings on it. But that's what I like to use. So I'll be putting some star aniseed in there. I will be putting some cedar wood in there. You should smell my room, it smells amazing, all these herbs. I will be putting my orange peel in there. Get the juniper berries out of the way. Just mixing them up. And then I like to put the juniper berries on each side. And then a splash of sage. Mix it all up. And we've got the start of a salt bowl. Simplest way. There you go. You could, like I said, you could add garlic, you could add rosemary, you could add lavender. What else is a protective herb off the top of my head? Sage is always a go-to for me, just straight up. Lemon is always one. Eucalyptus is a good cleansing herb to use. I've got tons of herbs, but off the top of my head I just generally can't think of ones. But normally you only need maybe 3, 5, several herbs in there. If you want to use essential oils, put a few drops in there. I don't like to use essential oils in my salt bowls just because I find it can get quite clumpy, and I don't like that. I do put essential oils in my spiritual baths, which is something that I will go into detail in another video. I figured I'd do some more and I'd want to make it simple. So there's the first step in the salt bowl. You can use peppercorn, you can use cloves. You can also cut lemons and limes and put them in there. Now I would put some lime slices in my salt bowl, but I don't actually have any lemons in the house. So if you do have them, you can use them. You of course don't need to use dried herbs. You can just put you could put apples in here, you could put lemons in here, you could put limes, oranges. Just think that they might be a little bit more sticky, and you might want to change them up more frequently. Make sure you slice them up. But lemons are perfect. They give out a happy, energetic vibe, but they're also very cleansing and very protective as well. So whilst you mix your salt together, you want to spell out your intentions. You say something like, may this salt cleanse and clear all negative energy in my home. As you're doing that, make sure you're turning counterclockwise just to disperse anything. So if you want to get rid of, if you want to banish, go anti-clockwise. When you've done that, when you want to bring energy into your home, when you want to bless something, make sure you're going clockwise to bring in that energy into the home. You can use this finger to do it as well. I like to, once I finish setting my intentions, so my intention was to banish negative energy, to get rid of low vibes in my home, and then it was to bring happy, positive, cleansing energy into my home. I like to draw out the pentagram, and there my intentions are set. Then you want to place your bowl somewhere in the home where you can possibly see it. I placed mine near my bookcase, near my reading table. I like to, just play with the salt every now and then. You can sprinkle it, you can use it on the windowsills. If you feel particularly like you've been around people that have a lot of negative energy, you can handle your salt, rub it through your fingers, wash it off your hands when you're finished. Like I said, offices are great. Anywhere where you maybe can see it or you know what it's doing, you can place. If you work in a room where you want to use it, you can bless it. You can do many different types. You don't have to necessarily put it in a bowl. You could bottle it up and then use it in spells for specific things. Like I said, I was going to do salt baths, which again is something I will do in a future video. I personally wouldn't use too many herbs in a salt bath just because it's a pain to get the herbs out the plug unless you use a little catchet to kind of keep it together. That's why I kind of use essential oils. It's a bit more personal. You can bless it with angels, you can bless it with the gods and goddesses, you can bless it with your spirit animals. We've blessed it and used the vibrations from the herbs. It's already making me feel happy and calmer. It does change the energy of the room. So I hope you like this salt bowl one-on-one. Let me know what kind of herbs you like to use yourself. It's always interesting. I would recommend you use 3, 5 or 7 herbs, maybe 8 if that's a magical number. Basically go with the ones that feel right for you. I always say choose the one that you're drawn to, because 10 to 1 that's the energy or the herb that you need to use right now. I hope you've enjoyed salt bowls. I will continue to do some other different videos. Of course, I'm always available if you would like a reading or spell work. The link is in the bottom of the YouTube video for readings and spell work, and I'm available on Instagram as TheeMagicalHag. Many blessings, have a wonderful day, and let me know where you place your salt bowls. Give some other people a few ideas. Bye lovelies.